All right, so we're moving through the new Dragon Ball Z Figuarts figures. I've gotten through Vegeta, and today we're going to take a look at this guy, Nappa here from Tamashii Nations, so Bluefin in the United States. And this is easily one of my most anticipated figures of the year. He might break into my top 10. We will have to wait and see. He's in our current standard Figuarts box with the big window, product shots all over. Nothing too crazy, but he just looks so damn cool. So let's pull him out. Alright, so here is Nappa out of the box, and like I said, this is a figure that I have really been looking forward to getting my hands on. He's been teased for so long, and we finally have him. Originally, I think they showed him when he doesn't have any of his armor on. I mean, there was no chance we were going to get him like that, so we obviously got him in the full armored version here, and he's got a lot of cool things about him. He's got a few things that are kind of iffy. But I think in terms of the recent pair of Vegeta and Nappa, I think Nappa is the winner of the two. So let's kind of dig into articulation and paint and sculpt and all that stuff, and then we'll talk about accessories. So the head, pretty much everything here is what you expect you're going to get for the most part. There's one in particular point of articulation that's kind of troublesome. So the head can move all the way around. He can go back a decent bit. He can go down quite a bit. The neck isn't as articulated as some others, but it still does move. It's just because it's so big and bulky, it seems to hit the sculpt a little more, but you can move it. It does move down a lot more, so you could get him, looking down at Gohan or something. The shoulder pads are articulated, so they can move, but honestly, that's kind of one of the weird things about him. So the shoulders, the arms themselves only go up about this far. They really don't go too far, and it's because of the sculpt and the way they hide those joints in there. The piece that actually moves inside the armor, everything hits itself, so it stops right around there, so he can't even get 90 degrees. So the arm will never hit the armor, so it really didn't even need to move. So that's kind of problematic. It's not a deal breaker, and I haven't really come into a situation when I've been playing around with him that I really said, hey, I wish he could move his arm up a little more, but it's definitely a limitation, so, keep that in mind. We do have bicep swivel. We've got those double jointed elbows, and the joint looks okay. It's not terrible, but he really only gets about 90 degrees. And then we've got those ball sockets for the wrist, so he can move all over the place. We've got an upper diaphragm joint, so he can go back, he can go forward, bob side to side. We've got a waist twist. The flaps on the armor are all hinged as well, so they help with articulation in terms of moving around. Legs can kick forward about that far, and they go back, I don't know, just about as far as forward. We've got rotation at the thigh. There is the Figuarts drop-down hinge there, so you can make him a little bit taller if you need to, but it makes the legs closer together, so I'm not sure you really want to do that. It'll help you move them around a bit, though. I think I said the thigh swivels, but it does. We've got double jointed knee. It's kind of ugly. That's not a pretty joint. It's really weird right around here. There is nothing at the boot or the shin. He does have a rotation and a hinge, and he has a true ankle rocker, which is different for most Figuarts. So here it is, kind of standard. You can kick it all the way to the side. So you can almost get him like doing this, putting his legs out as far as possible, but having his feet flat on the ground, which is really cool. It's kind of different for Figuart. And then he's got toe articulation. That's pretty ugly as well, but it works. Now, as far as sculpt goes, I personally think this guy's about as perfect as he's going to get. He's got a lot going on. I really like the armor. I like everything about it. I mean, it's Nappa from the show, basically, so you really can't go wrong. The only thing that I think is truly maybe a problem is just scale. So, and I'm not sure it's really an issue with Nappa's scale, maybe more so with Vegeta's scale, because, you want to pair them together, so put them next to each other. Vegeta is way too tall. I don't think it's the situation that Nappa is too short. He probably could have stood to be a little bit bigger, but Vegeta, in terms of scale throughout the Figuarts line, is definitely too tall in most aspects. And this one, in comparison to Nappa, I mean, he should be at least another foot taller than Vegeta at this point, because he's supposed to be like 7 feet tall, and Vegeta's maybe 5, something like that. So I don't know, it doesn't bother me really, but it's worth noting that he's not anywhere near as big as Broly, and I don't have him available to put in comparison, but they're definitely very different in size. They shouldn't be the same size anyway, but Nappa is definitely a much bigger character. Beyond that, though, I think the sculpt on this guy is really good. A lot of sculpted line work for the muscles. That armor looks really, really cool. Very nicely sculpted. Head sculpt is really nice. Looks just like him. And that kind of leads me to the paint work. This guy, where Vegeta had like no shading on him, Nappa actually has it, so he's got different hues of kind of a peachy color in those muscle lines all over his body. The face is painted really well with his, kind of pencil line mustache. We got the eyes painted well, teeth painted well. Obviously, the armor is painted and it's all very clean. I don't have any issues there. One thing of note, though, is maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, but this armor is not the armor that you see him in during the actual Saiyan saga. This is the color scheme that we saw on planet Arlia. So the very first appearance of Nappa and Vegeta, they looked different. So, there's that Figuarts version that came out at San Diego Comic-Con a few years back with the planet Arlia Vegeta where he's all green and brown and orange in color. Well, Nappa's, the brown parts on his armor are much darker this color. He looks like this on that planet in those, one episode? Maybe, was it two? It was one episode, I think. I don't really remember. And in the actual Saiyan Saga arc, this part is much lighter. It's a more tan color where this is actually brown. So, I don't know, maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. It's just something that I kind of noticed while I was going through some reference pictures of Nappa. Not a big deal for me, but something to take note of. All right, now for accessories, he comes with a whole bunch of stuff, as you might expect. So this is his default configuration that he comes with out of the package, and then he's got all this stuff down here. So I'm just gonna go through it all real quick. We've got 3 extra heads, and they come on these little stands in the package. Well, they're not stands, but they say that they help with shipping or packaging in the instructions. I've never seen a figure art come with these things before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really make a difference. It's just something that struck me as kind of weird. So we've got a screaming head here with the veins popping out all over his forehead. We have got basically a similar head to what he comes with, but with a scouter. This guy is different from Vegeta, and Vegeta has a removable scouter with extra heads. He just has a head that has a unremovable scouter. It has no readout on it. Looks really nice, though. I'll probably be using this quite a bit. In my display. He's probably going to have this on for the most part. And then we've got a head where he's looking to the right and screaming. Pretty standard Nappa stuff. We've got 2 karate chop style hands. We've got 2 gripping hands. You can kind of use these for like a throwing style motion or just a menacing style look. And then we've got his kind of signature 2-finger. I don't remember what he did with this. I'm pretty sure there's an energy attack or something that goes along with this. But this is kind of a signature Nappa thing that he did in the show. So they included that as well. It is the right hand. So standard stuff, pop them on, pop them off. A whole bunch of stuff. But he does come with one extra thing, and I didn't even realize it came with it. So let's take a look at that now. All right, so the final accessory he comes with, he actually comes with a blast effect. And he comes with a stand as well. The stand is meant for the blast effect, though. It's kind of just like a hurling fireball, energy ball type of effect. My only real gripe about it is that it's ugly. It looks like a piss-colored ball of plastic, and I'm pretty sure it is clear plastic that is painted this color, but it just looks really odd. The back of the box actually shows it being a really bright and vibrant yellow, and this is not that same color. They're very different. I do like the fact that we got it, though, so don't get me wrong. I like the fact that we got it. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it, though. It may go unused because really this set of figures, Vegeta and Nappa, for me, are kind of best spent just standing next to each other on the shelf, I think. But I like the fact that we got it. I just think there's something that went wrong with the color scheme on it. The effect itself is okay. It's kind of boring, but I like the fact that they are including them again. Nappa was expensive enough on his own, so I guess it's cool that they kind of threw this little bonus in because it's been a while since I've had a new energy effect to play with. But like I said, with these hands, you can kind of use the kind of gripping posed hands to be more like he just kind of like threw the ball of energy and it's hurling towards him. So I think that's part of why he has also this looking to the right style head as well. So that's the final thing he comes with. So overall, I mean, I really like this figure. He has a few problems, you know, those arms don't really articulate perfectly, and he's got that weird energy ball we just talked about. But overall, this is pretty much the figure that I've wanted for a long time. I still think it would be really cool to get the unarmored version because that figure that they teased forever was really cool looking. But this is the quintessential Nappa figure, and he goes perfectly with Vegeta. They are a set as far as I'm concerned. You really can't have one without the other, and they complement each other very well despite being out of scale with each other. So that is going to do it for this look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Nappa figure from Bandai Tamashii Nations. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, guys.